Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Timothy here with Mana Rocks, doing a Guilds of Ravnica draft. Skipping over all the sealed events. Not a big fan of sealed if I can draft instead. And this is like maybe my fourth draft or something like that. I've played nothing but blue decks so far. Is it Demir? Some combination of those, but I might change that up with Camaraderie here. I think this card is very good, and Selesnya seems like it supports it very well. It's 4 mana sorcery. You gain life, draw cards, or you gain life and draw cards equal to how many creatures you control, and then all your creatures get +1/+1. The +1/+1, not too big of a deal, but I think the first two modes make this fantastic, and it shouldn't be too hard to get a bunch of creatures. Luminous Bonds, obviously good. All the removal spells in the pack are good. Dead Weight, Severed Strands, Disinformation Campaign's a nice build around, and I've actually been pretty impressed with Devious Cover Up in control decks. Demir specifically, less so is it, but I think Camaraderie is a nice place to start. Ooh, Steam Vents, not sure if that's worth money or not, but I'm not here to draft money right now. If this was real life, if I was drafting in person, I would snap off the Steam Vents, but I'm not going to do so here. And if it ends up being more than like 5 tickets or something, I'll feel bad about it later. I think Crow Harpooner might be my pick. This is just a very good, efficient body. This might be the best statted creature as a 2-drop. I don't know how many other creatures go past being just a 2/2 for 2 in this format. Vigor Spore Worm would also be great. Rhizome Lurcher is nice. Ladev Guardian's fine in Selesnya decks. I do feel like Selesnya is possibly the worst guild, and I hate to say that, but there's cards we could wheel here too. Any of the green-white cards would be good when we're drafting green-white, obviously. Like, you could play Portcullis Vine if you end up with Convoke cards. Guardian's not great, but it's playable. Woodshaper's not great, but it's playable. And I think Vigor Spore Worm's actually really good, but Harpooner's nice. Very nice, actually. Just as a 2-mana 3/2, if nothing else. Ooh, there are definitely cards in this pack. So Healer's Hawk is pretty important for the green-white decks, but I would rather get the Convoke cards first and then prioritize my 1-drops. And I think Flight of Equinauts is pretty good. This is the Flying Siege Worm, as I like to call it. Flying typically being a little bit better than Trample, and yes, it's more expensive than Siege Worm, but Selesnya tends to clog up the ground, and the Flying finishers are good. Artful Takedown is just a very, very good removal spell, like top-tier removal. Better than, I think, the 5-mana sorcery destroy target creature. This card is just a house against so many different decks. Very good against Boros, where it stops the onslaught in its tracks, basically. And there's also Sky Knight Legionnaire, which would be really good. So lots of great picks, but if I'm going to first pick Camaraderie, then I'm going to try to support it as best as possible by being Selesnya, and if that doesn't end up well, then so be it, right? Boros looking very wide open here, so maybe it's worth going into. Like, Justice Strike is nice. I think Justice Strike is great. Parhelion Patrol, I think, is mediocre, unless you are Boros, and it's fine there. Blade Instructor, also pretty mediocre, outside of just straight-up Boros, and even then, this is probably one of the worst mentors. Hellkite Whelp is okay, not great. I think I'm going to take Justice Strike. If I end up being Naya or something like that, then that's fine. You can usually pick up enough mana fixin to make a 3-color deck work, and Boros does overlap with Selesnya in white. And I think Justice Strike is just pretty good. Healer's Hawks going around the table like clockwork, so hopefully we'll get one of those at some point. Let's see, we have a Vernati Shieldmate, Overgrown Tomb, just shocks for days. That's how you know you're drafted online. You get past Shocklands. That never happens in real life. Vigorsporn Worm, Wario copy is very, very replaceable, and Ladev Guardian, I feel like we're probably going to get one of those back. I do like having Lockets in most of my non-aggressive, non-Boros decks. So the question here is, do I want the 2-drop or another top-end creature? Undergrowth is not exactly amazing in Selesnya, but I could easily shift into Golgari and Selesnya if that's what works out, and I do think Vigor Spore Worm is pretty good. I don't really think you're fighting for 2-drops. There are so many 2-drops in this set, so I'm going to take the top-end creature here. And, ooh, Ladev Champion. This card is very good. So many Guardians. Alright, I do like that we're seeing all these colors here, because it looks like blue is just not flowing at all, and black is not super open either, but getting past, what is this, 6th pick Ladev Champion's a good sign that Selesnya is open. Although, as I've mentioned, based on what I've drafted so far, it seems like Selesnya's always open, which means that it's not really a top-tier guild or thing like that, but if we end up with the deck, we're going to end up with it. Ladev Champion's a great mana sink. Token generator, great with camaraderie. Just good on its own. This card often attacks as a 4/4 or 5/5 just without even pumping out tokens, so easy pickup there. Lotleth Giant, hello. I like Rosemane Centaur. Alright, this is a good sign. I would actually like Lotleth Giant as a potential top-end card. We're going to move Justice Strike over. I think the reason this color combination is not popular is because it doesn't actually get access to a lot of removal, so that's why you often end up having to splash red or black, but the black removal goes so early in the packs that if you don't really get it within the first couple picks, you're not getting it at all. I'm taking Rosemane Centaur. Now we have two pretty good Convoke creatures, which is going to want us to prioritize some of these one-drops, but I feel like we might get some Healer's Hawks back. There were like 3 of them so far. Crushing Canopy's nice. Ooh, another Rosemane Centaur. This card's good. I think it's significantly better than Sumala Woodshaper. Like, this is a good ability, but 4-mana 2/1 is so bad in this format. Like, just exceptionally bad. Not only are there ways to just, like, pop little 1-toughness creatures, which people are already going to be bringing in against Selesnya, but, you're playing against Boros. You cannot just play a 4-mana 2/1 without getting run over. But Rosemane Centaur is a nice pickup here. Now, with that being said, I might want a Sumala Woodshaper. It's either that or a Lurcher or a 10th District Guard. District Guard, pretty bad. So I'll go ahead and take the Woodshaper. I don't think I want more than one of these. Like, I'm not going to take it here. Wow, Vigor Sporeworm came back? Disrespectful. I might actually take Portcullis Vine. It just helps us ramp out our Convoke creatures, of which we have 3. You can cash it in for a card later on. Obviously, I'd rather have a bunch of Healer's Hawks than a bunch of Vines, and if this Guardian's coming back, I imagine I'm getting the other ones. It's a good sign that we're seeing these. Guildgate or a 2-drop. Again, you're not fighting for 2-drops, but we also don't have any so far. Well, no, we have a 1 and a 2. If I can get, 2 small drop creatures per pack, then it'll be pretty good. Selesnya Guildgate does help you cast your spells, and Devkar and Dissidence, not very good, so. Blade Instructor, I'll take Hitchclaw Recluse here. We are not going to be a hyper aggro deck where Blade Instructor is going to be good, so I'll take Recluse, a little bit more defensive card. Yeah, and along those lines, Okapi's fine too. Just playable filler 3-drops. Alright, I think I'll actually take Ladev Guardian here over just a vanilla 4/3. I'm not actually sure that was right. Ooh, Urban Utopia could open up some splash opportunities. So you can see we went through that whole pack with quite a bit of good stuff in our color. That's the sound of me just vomiting. This card's insane. Definitely one of the top 5 cards in the set. Mythic Rare. Secure the Wastes, but all of your creatures have lifelink, and it has Convoke, which is insane. I actually don't dislike Join Shields. Just because people think this card is bad, because it is kind of bad, which means people won't often play around it. Although, once they've seen it once, the gig is kind of up. Might of the Mass is probably going to be good in our deck. Guildgate and Locket could open us up. I like Pax Favor. This could be just a decent combat trick, and your opponent has to respect that, but we're going to take the On-Color Bomb Mythic Rare. And I feel like Selesnya is wide open, so we'll see if that's true going into the second pack, but I mean, how can I complain, right? This is just such a good finisher. If we can, it's insane with camaraderie. Let's see. If the art ever loads up. So it looks like we have an Integrity Intervention here, which might be the pick. The first mode's already okay, but again, it gives us that opportunity to splash the second mode, which is just Lightning Helix for 4 mana. Alternatively, we have Fresh-Faced Recruit, Selesnya Locket, or a 2-drop. This pack also has some good ones. Deadly Visit and Glowspore Shaman are pretty good. I've actually found Dowser of Lights to be decent. This size in 4/5 for 5 has been pretty good in most formats that it shows up in. Take Heart is just a worse version of Integrity, as far as I'm concerned, since Take Heart, yeah, might gain you some life, but Integrity sometimes Lightning Helixes the opponent, so I'm going to take this. And what? Oh my god. Alright, so I would actually like Hunted Witnesses in this deck, but I'm not going to pass out Bounty of Might. Our deck's looking pretty good here, I'm not going to lie. This card is just absurd. Not only the way it looks, but the way it functions too. I haven't actually had a chance to play with it yet, but I don't think it takes a genius to realize this card's pretty good, so snap. Snap. This card does actually. Beam Splitter Mage plus Bounty of Might is kind of interesting. Okay, well, this pack is definitely interesting for us too because there's Flower and Flourish, which I like quite a bit. Flourish is insane with March of the Multitudes, probably just enough to win a game on its own, and it's fine. But Flower, it doesn't help us find mountains. It can only fetch up basic plains or basic forest. But what it does is let you play 16 lands in your deck, and anytime you can do that, I'm pretty happy with it. Crow Forager, Ladev Guardian are good. The question here, though, is do I want Siege Worm or just a way to kind of cheat on mana and pump tokens? Which I'm not like a huge go wide deck. I have March of the Multitudes, but that's often going to be enough to win on its own anyway. I think I want Flower and Flourish. This is a common. If I can get one more good Convoke payoff, I'll be happy, like a Siege Worm later on or something. Flight plus Siege Worm, or plus one more Convoke creature in the 2 Rosemane Centaurs, I think will be pretty good. So Flower Flourish seems good here. Hasdem Marshal is one of the ones I'm not as excited about. Wow, that's a late Deadly Visit. I'm sorry, there's something going on with my computer here. Hope everybody can still see everything. Hasda Marshal, yeah, this is more of a Boros card. It's definitely pretty weak in our deck, so I might take Prey Upon, which is good with the Rosemane Centaurs. It's fine with some of the other creatures here. Pretty good with Ladev Champion. Yeah, I think Prey Upon's good. We just need removal, right? Conclave Guildmage. Alright. I wouldn't mind a Healer's Hawk here, and if that wasn't there, this wasn't here, I wouldn't mind Prey Upon either, but I think Conclave Guildmage is just going to be good. This is definitely low tier as far as the Guild Mages go, but in Selesnya it's going to do a fine job, and it's definitely tiers above a lot of the other 2-drops we've already had a chance to take. My deck wants 2-drops, so on-theme 2-drops seem good. Here, I think Hunted Witness might be the pick. I would like Selesnya Guildgate, but I do need some number 1-drops. This one's annoying against certain decks. Gatekeeper Gargoyle is also a card I think is pretty good, but I don't think we need more top end. Like, I would even consider trying to get rid of Vigor Spore Worm if I end up with a few more Convoke payoffs, but I do want some 1-drops. I want the Guildgate, but gotta be an adult here. Ooh. God, this is such a good sign for us. Generous Stray or Peacemaker. Stray is nice, but Peacemaker makes sure we stay alive, and this card is also a house against Boros. I don't think our opponent's life total is going to matter too much. Like, we're not going to be trying to beat him down or anything. I think Peacemaker is going to be better for what we want to do here, although I would not mind this Generous Stray or Guildgate. So many Vigor Spore Worms. Yeah, I'll take the Peacemaker. All right, Join Shields came back. The 2 Pumps came back. And Woodshaper number 2 I don't want. I think I'm going to take... Well, Might of the Masses is probably pretty good for us, right? We're often going to have something like 3+ creatures on board. Pax Favor. I mean, Might of the Masses seems like it's usually going to do what Pax Favor does, but a little bit more. Obviously, you can get somebody by convoking this out, but, you know, people by now know that you can do that, and Might of the Masses only costs a single mana, so you can just cast it, whereas other ones you might not be able to cast. So, Selesnya Locket versus Dissident here. I've got quite a few creatures. I think this is looking good. Just want an excess of creatures here. The Locket, I think, is not as necessary, because if you look at a lot of my top-end creatures, they have Convoke, so actually ramping them with mana sources doesn't seem necessary. I might be able... Selesnya is so open, I might be able to just get another Selesnya Locket anyway. Like, look, all Selesnya cards. I only have 2 1-drops right now. I really wish this was a Healer Hawk. I'd take it. Iron Shell Beetle can be fine. This is definitely better as a Golgari card than a Selesnya card, but does the trick. Maybe just pick up another Selesnya Guildgate. Make sure my mana's good. Alright, Crow Foragers or Selesnya Locket. I don't hate this card. It's another kind of Peacemaker type ability where it puts a relevant body on board and gives you some life to play around with against the more aggro decks, but I do think I'm going to take Locket here. Candlelight Vigil's bad. Crush Contraband is a sideboard card, and even then it's not fantastic. It's still expensive, so we'll get the Guardian down. And yeah, I don't care about anything else that's coming. Ooh, I picked Guildgate. Nice. All right, so we do not need to prioritize Guildgates anymore. I would be happy with a Boros Guildgate. Or maybe even play a Boros Locket over Selesnya Locket, although it'd be harder to crack to draw the 2 cards. This is going well for us, though. Alright, Swiftblade Vindicator, not on color rare. Poo-poo. But that's fine, because there are cards in this pack. I think I'm going to take Siege Worm here over Generous Stray. I did say I want one more big Convoke payoff. In this pack, we're looking for, Luminous Bonds plus cheap creatures, I think. Any removal we can get, basically. I don't think I need more than 3 Guild Gates, so I'm not going to prioritize those. In fact, I might not even play more than 3, since I'm going to want to play a lot of 1 and 2 drops. Lotless Giant, I think, would be good. Swiftblade Vindicator, not good here. I think this is definitely just a Boros-only card. So Siege Worm it is. Boom! Watery Grave. Another Siege Worm. Another Rosemane Centaur. Another Flower to Forest. Jeez, this is loaded. Grappling Sundew I dislike very much. Might of the Masses number 2 I don't care about, and I don't want either of these little green creatures. So the question is, which of these 3? Now, I said you can cheat on mana when you have this card, but you can only cheat so much. Like, I can't just draft 3 of these and play 14 lands. Or maybe you can. So this is tough. All these are just all quality cards, all 3 of these. I think Centaur is better than Siege Worm. It just comes down a whole turn or 2 earlier, and Vigilance is actually super relevant on a 4/4, as opposed to like on some of the 2/2s. So I think I'm going to take Rosemane Centaur. Knight of Autumn? Are you kidding me? Oh my god. Wow, Knight of Autumn is sick. Can't see the art, but this is the one where you get to pick one of the 3 modes. This gives you Artifact Enchantment Destruction, which is nice. Like, why do I need the 4 mana Exile and Artifact or Enchantment when I have a 3-drop creature that's playable in my deck? Man, we just have a ton of on-color goodies. Like, Selesnya is so wide open, it's crazy. Demotion is actually decent against some decks. You want to be Boros to play Demotion, and Color the Culprit is, weaker removal, but it does kill the type of creatures we're worried about killing. Crushing Canopy I wouldn't mind as a sideboard. Righteous Blow would be fine. And then these 2 cards I don't really want more copies of. I think Tula get Dev Guardians is going to be fine, but it is easy Knight of Autumn. Not even close. Generous Stray here over Take Heart or Pitiless Gorgon. Yeah, I think that's pretty easy. Pretty easy. Might not even play this Locket. Wario copy seems pretty bad. Our deck is going to be very defensive until we get to the late game. Alright, I'll take a Boros Guildgate here. I really don't like Grappling Sundew, and I don't need Parhelion Patrol in this deck for any reason. I think we're just missing 1-drops. Like, altogether we have 4 creatures. I guess we have 5 creatures to play before turn 3. You do want more than that. So if I can pick up one more good 1 or 2 drop out of this pack, it'll be good. But Grappling Sundew is not one that I want. And I think we're going to wheel one of these. I don't imagine a lot of other decks want it. Boros Guildgate gives us the option to splash the Integrity and possibly even the Justice Strike. But since we're free rolling the Integrity already, then it's pretty easy to just put a Boros Guildgate in there. All right, Healer's Hawk. That's exactly what I'm looking for. I think I'll be quite happy with that. Wouldn't mind Lockstone Restorer. This is, I think, a better version of that Crowl Scavengers, the Golgari card, the Undergrowth card. This one's always going to gain you 4 life, and you basically sacrifice a point of power. Expansion Explosion's really good, too. So is it looking pretty open in this pack, but get what I asked for here, the 1-drop. Arboretum Elemental. I'm going to take that, and I don't think I need Vigor Sporn Worm anymore at this point. I've got so many playables, it's ridiculous. 3 of them are Guild Gates. God, yeah, I'll take Arboretum Elemental over another Prey Upon. Jeez, another Conclave Guild Mage. I don't think I'm actually going to need Selesnya Locket in this deck. Another Generous Stray. Flower Forge came back. Siege Worm Wield. Let me do a count real quick, because we picked up that Guild Mage too, so now I think we actually are at 7 1 or 2 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. So I definitely don't need Sundew, and if this, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get the other Sundew back. I actually don't think I even need Siege Worm. I've got 3 really top-end Convoke creatures plus a March of the Multitudes. So Flower it is. Crushing Canopy for the sideboard is nice. Maybe I want Righteous Blow. How bad is my deck against flyers and enchantments? It seems okay against them. Righteous Blow is a good way to not die in the early game, which we don't actually have a lot of protection, so I'm going to forego the Crushing Canopy and take Righteous Blow here. And, yep, there's Grapply Boy. Could be a good sideboard card against some decks. Candlelight's never coming in ever against anything, and Gravitic Punch I think is underrated, but still not great. So ended up with 32 playables. Absolutely ridiculous. Alright, well, we might have the Nuts Selesnya deck here. I'm not 100% sure, but let's go through real quick and just make quick cuts. The Vine is the weakest of the 1-drops. I guess this is a potential reason to take Grapple and Sundew, since you can sack it to draw a card, but whatever. Samala Woodshaper seems bad. I want my creatures to come down early or be big Convoke creatures. Not even sure I splash Justice Strike here. I have so many playables. How am I ever supposed to make that many cuts? Let's see. If I cut the Vine, though, that only leaves me 2 1-drops, 4 2-drops, and those are very important to my deck. I think Wario Copy can come out. One of the Generous Strays. My card quality is so high that I don't think I really need to jam a bunch of Generous Strays. One of these Guardians can probably come out too. This isn't exactly like a Convoke payoff. What this card lets you do is play like 1-drop, 2-drop, Convoke this out to get an extra body on board, and then get a turn closer to convoking your big creatures. I'm debating whether or not to cut the second Flower. Keep in mind I'm playing 16 lands probably. Yeah, I'll cut one of these, because it's not like my deck is going to be, super geared towards taking advantage of Flourish. Could cut Hitchclaw Recluse until I know for a fact I'm playing against like some flyer deck where it's actually good. Righteous Blow could also just be really bad against like Dimir or Golgari, so I might cut that. Although that leaves me with very little removal. Yeah, I guess another reason to cut Hitchclaw Recluse is that I have Crowl Harpooner, which takes care of flyers pretty well. I think one of the Ladev Guardians is going to come out. I like all the Rosemane Centaurs. This is a big beater. I'm not going to put Justice Strike in, but I am going to play the Boros, whatchamacallit, and have just the option of Casting Intervention with Integrity as a possibility. So I think I'm going to take Righteous Blow out and kind of sit on Integrity here. And if it comes up with Intervention, it'll be good. So I need to make one more cut here. Do I have too much top end? 2 6-drops, 4 expensive Convoke cards? Is that too much? It might be. I mean, this could run into the traditional problem of just having like hands where I have like 3 of these and none of my early game creatures. And you do have to just accept that. That happens sometimes. Generous Stray seems good here. I might cut the Vine and just leave myself with 2 little 1-drops. Seems not great. Vine blocks well. Maybe I'll just cut the other Ladev Guardian. This is just a good body to get on board, but it's not like it's significantly better than Peacemaker or something like that. I don't think I cut any of this. Out of all of the Convoke cards, I would consider cutting Arboretum Elemental over the other ones just because when you compare Siegeworm to Arboretum Elemental, it looks like Arboretum Elemental is just leaps and bounds better, but I'm not convinced since Trample is a huge deal on a 5/5. Arboretum Elemental has no evasion, and it does just, die to blocks. It's not like we're full of combat tricks. We have Prey Upon, which is great with Arboretum Elemental, but sometimes, 9 mana even with Convoke is a lot more than 7. Like, this sometimes doesn't come down until 2 turns after you could cast a Siegeworm. Alright, Ladev Guardian, come out, and we'll play 16 lands. I do not need any actual mountains in my deck, unless my opponent plays Assassin's Trophy, then I can fetch up a mountain. Keeping in mind that, what is this card called? Flower and Flourish. Cannot fetch up a mountain, unfortunately. So let's sort by color here. Our deck looks incredible, I'm not going to lie. Majority green, and they're about equal, and we have, 3 Guild Gates? Yeah, I don't think I need this locket. Alright, we're just going to go no mountain. Boom, boom. That's 13, 14, 15, 16. This gives me a 9-10 mana base. I could be super greedy and just get rid of another land, put another flower in my deck. If you draw a land plus a flower, that's kind of, drawing a 2-lander hand. The difference between, the problem with doing that is, like, if I play 2 flowers and 15 lands, is that I still want to be hitting land drops. I have Convoke cards, but I need to hit land drops to hit, like, my 3 drops. I guess flower just does that, right? What would you guys do? Play a second flower over the 16th land? Like, do I cut a forest here and play another flower? Flourish is good upside on what's essentially a land. I think that might be right. 15 land looks super awkward with what I've got, though. I don't want to get mana screwed because I'm being greedy. But I think that might be right. Alright. That could mess the whole deck up, but I think it's fine. Like, if I were to just draw a flower instead of a land, the only problem there is, I could draw hands that only have flower in them and don't have lands, and then it doesn't function as a land. I'm going to try this out. I'm going to try the 15 land Selesnya deck with a bunch of expensive cards, 15 land 9-drop dot deck. And hopefully it works out. If I find that I'm just getting mana screwed over and over again, I'll go and drop one of these flowers for a land. So, I think our deck looks sweet. I could be making a mistake by only playing 15 lands, but I think these are functionally lands most of the time, so I think it'll work out. And yeah, thanks for joining me where we drafted the Nuts Selesnya deck. Let's see if we can 3-0 with this bad boy. Thanks for watching. See you in the matches. Alright, y'all, we're here for round 1. This is one of those hands I was describing where I might have too much top end. 3 of our Convoke cards and only 1 thing to play by turn 3. I'm on the play, but I think the fact that Generous Stray is my 3-drop makes this nice, and if we're playing against a mirror or something, I think this hand is going to be fine. Arboretum Elemental is very good against a mirror, but if we're playing against Boros, it could be worse. Alright, I don't mind even just drawing lands early on, because I don't actually have a lot of lands in my deck. I'm only playing 15. But, turn 2 Generous Stray is nice. Dimir also has a lot of good answers for Selesnya, because a lot of people know that Selesnya's real power is in its top-end cards. So a lot of times if you're playing Dimir or something, you don't really have to mess around with your opponent's little creatures. They're not going to do that much. You have things that can block a Generous Stray. So if you save your counter spells and your kill spells for some of the top-end creatures, then you're looking just fine. Your opponent can't do much. Looks like we're actually against Izzet here, which is going to play out basically the same as Dimir, but possibly a little more aggressive than controlling. Disdainful Stroke, one of the great cards to watch out for here. Playing Stray on turn 3 lets us go Rosemane Centaur on turn 4. And that kind of spirals out of control. Alright, there's Flower Flourish. I was thinking maybe I don't need Flourish in my deck, the second one, because I do have Camaraderie. Wow, we are drawing a lot of land. Remember that Flower is essentially a land, but we're going to hold on to it at this point. I'm going to drop a Rosemane Centaur this turn. If it gets countered, it gets countered. But there's not much we can do about it. There's only... Well, no, they could have Disdainful Stroke or Sinister Sabotage here. Guess they could have Ionize as well. Alright, yep, I was going to say it looks like we're getting bounced, but that's fine. Like, they're not actually losing this creature or anything. And they get the Surveil, which they kept on top, buying themselves some time. It's good at Dirtle in the game. Alright, 2-drop, so I can actually play the 2-drop into the Rosemane Centaur. I'm pretty sure. I go 1-2, play this, and then I have 5, yeah. Alright, fight me, opponent. Devkar and Dissident doesn't even look bad against them. So let's go Centaur. Sure, we're not getting any damage in early, but keep in mind we're not really an aggro deck, so it's fine. They just want to keep bouncing our creatures. That's pretty good. And I feel like a 4/4 Vigilance got to be good against Izzet. Oh, the story has changed. They're Grixis. Muse Drake. Very amusing. Opponent still got 6 cards in hand. Oh, bah. Alright, well, we got a finisher. We already have 6 mana. It's kind of crazy. And we've got Flourish. So this turn, 6, 7, 8, I'm going to attack with Rosemane and play Flight of Equinox. I could also just play Arboretum Elemental. But I do want to get some combat in because they're essentially at 11. They don't know they're at 11, but they're at 11. Could have probably swung with this too, but then we couldn't play the flight. Oh, Rosemane Centaur. Never mind. I totally forgot Rosemane Centaur actually has Vigilance, so we can play Arboretum Elemental, which I think is going to be fantastic here. Since there's very little that Izzet can do about a hexproof creature. Alright, kind of crushing, I think. Not a lot of sweepers. I mean, black has Ritual of Soot, which doesn't kill our two big creatures and actually kills their Muse Drake. If they had white mana, they could Deafening Clarion, which still doesn't kill the big things and kills the Muse Drake. There's no way they're casting a Citywide Bust, which is just great against us. They are on 6 mana, though. They could easily have, like, a Niv Mizzet, which they couldn't actually cast this turn, because they don't have triple red. But they gotta deal with an Arboretum Elemental. Oh, 6-drop. Gatekeeper, 5/5. Nice. Okay, so if I attack with Arboretum Elemental and they don't block, I actually get to just kill them because that's 16 damage, which is insane. Alternatively, attack with everything and just use Bounty of Might to kill a bunch of their creatures. They're probably going to put the 5/5 in front of Arboretum Elemental, and then next turn Flourish just kind of takes them out. So I'm just going to go for Bounty of Might this turn. I don't think there's anything that really goes wrong here. And if they do block Arboretum Elemental, all I have to do is put a single +3 on this, and then I get in the other 6 damage. So I'll deal 2, 3, deal 9 damage, eat both their creatures, give that +3, give that +3, give that +3. Now my opponent has no board. They're taking 9, going down to 7, still facing down my entire board. Whew. I like it. Crushing Canopy already has 2 targets. Alright, so played a Skill Gate and passed. Or scooped. Alright, that went amazing for us. Hitchclaw Recluse, not really good against that Gargoyle, but I'm going to bring in... Oh, do I not have a Crushing Canopy? I also didn't consider Urban Utopia, which gives us another source for intervention, but I'm not sure I want to cut anything for Urban Utopia. I could see putting in a land, cutting Flower, and playing the Utopia. This one doesn't fetch us a mana source, but it does help us splash the red. I just don't know that mana fixing's actually necessary here. I could also see just cutting the second Flower, playing a 16th land, and playing another Generous Stray, because this draws us into cards, whereas this is always just going to get us a land. Let's do that, actually. I didn't consider that, and like I said, I don't think Flourish is insane, or at least the second Flourish isn't going to be amazing, because we have Bounty of Might and Camaraderie, which do similar things. So, yeah, let's go ahead and bring in... Oh, no, never mind. That doesn't work. I'd have to... Yeah, I lied. I can't just do 1 for 1 and keep at 15 lands. Sure. We'll just keep it as is. I don't know what I was thinking there. I also just noticed that I didn't put the Boros Guild Gate in my deck. So let's go and make that cut. After talking all that stuff. I do that a lot, in case you haven't noticed. Alright, so it looks to our opponent like we did a bunch of sideboarding, but we didn't. we brought in a Boros Guild Gate against our opponent. What of it? Okay, and we're going to be on the draw this time. Opponent did not show us a lot of cards. They played 3 cards that game. 2 flyers and a bounce spell. We kind of had a ridiculously good curve out, so I don't know that every game is going to go as well as that game went, but we didn't get a lot of information about the opponent's deck, which is what I'm trying to say here. Hey, if my deck always plays out like that, though, and my opponent just doesn't play that many cards, then I think we'll be fine. They are on the decision here. Alright, how do I feel about this hand? Ugh, another one of those hands that doesn't really do anything, but I'm going to keep it. At the very least, I can cast one of these on turn 5, but all it takes is like a single creature before turn 5 to make this tick a little bit. Yeah, sure, that's a good one to play on turn 3. It's not insane if I don't curve out into it or anything, and who knows, they could have a more aggro start against us. Electromancer, huh? Alright, let's just go and get down another Guild Gate and pass. Not too scared of Electromancer, but it is pretty good. Helps with jumpstart spells. You know, if they just play like a Piston Fist Cyclops or something, then they could tempo us here. They could have a counterspell or a bounce spell, which wouldn't be terrible either. I don't have a counterspell. Oh, Chemister's Insight. Ooh, on 3 mana. That's juicy. Super juicy. Good old instant speed divination. I'd rather them do that than have a whatchamacallit. Alright, and use a kill spell there too. Using the kill spells on my smaller creatures is pretty good, but this is a good creature to kill, so I don't blame my opponent for it. Hold on to Flourish, I assume, instead of casting Flower here. Our hand did not develop amazingly, but we did make our opponent use a pretty premium removal spell on a 2/2 rather than one of our other 3 creatures that dies to it. I don't think we're doing so hot this game. We're at 14. Our opponent has the Insight in the graveyard, playing something else here. Watching the Mist. Yeah, we're going to be in trouble this game. We don't have a lot of removal, so if we fall behind, then there's not much we can do about it, and all we're doing next turn is playing a 4/4 Vigilance, which granted is good, but we've got a clock in the air, and they're probably on a lot more gas. They also didn't put anything in the graveyard. Man, 15 land deck, drawing a lot of lands. Yeah, this doesn't look great. Not drawing any of the 1 or 2 drops was bad. Well, we could draw like a Knight of Autumn or a Centaur Peacemaker and make up for a turn of getting hit here. If they attack with the Electromancer into the 4/4, I'm just blocking, but I assume this is going to die. Considering they left 2 cards on top. One might have been Guildgate. Beam Splitter Mage. That could deal a lot of damage out of nowhere. And a Bounce Spell. Yeah, we are falling behind very quickly. Going down to 9 this turn, and they still have their flying clock. What did they do? They ditched an Izzet Locket. Could use something that gains life here. Might of the Masses, not great. Does mean if they go for a burn spell, then maybe Rosemane Centaur survives. Yeah, I think I'm in trouble. I think I'm definitely going to lose this game, and then we'll just try to have a better opener for the next game. I guess I could have mulliganed that hand. It clearly didn't do anything till turn 5, and they had an answer for my 3-drop, but if I die, I die. They could just have like a maximize altitude here, and then I'm actually just dead on board. Yep, so we'll go ahead and concede to that. Because they get to bounce it onto Goblin Electromancer, and that's 9 in the air. All of their creatures are 3 power flyers. Hitchcall Recluse seems good. Maximize altitude. Gives flying. Oh, man, I don't know what's up with the lag, though. Alright, so Hitchcall, solid. Grappling Sundew is probably also pretty good. Righteous Blow. And they showed us multiple 2-drops, but I don't think that's very good. Sundew. What's bad here? All my 3-drops are good. Portcullis Vine actually seems a lot worse against this opponent since they're attacking in the air mostly. So I'll go ahead and cut that, and then maybe I cut one of the top-end creatures. I have been drawing a lot of those types of hands. I can't cut a flower without putting a land in, which means I got to cut another card anyway. Maybe I cut one Rosemane Centaur? I guess my big creatures aren't insane against their bounce spells. Plus they have, like, Command the Storm, so they're going to be able to kill these things, but Arboretum Elemental is big game. Yeah, I'm going to cut one Rosemane Centaur, I suppose. Bringing in a 2-drop. Maybe I could cut Might in the Masses. I don't think this is going to come down to a pump spell. Alright. Bounty of Might's going to be a huge Might in the Masses. Opponent's going to try to tempo us and kill us with Flyer, so bringing in a couple Reach creatures seems good. I like this hand. It has plenty of mana. It has a 1-drop. Drawing a 2-drop would be amazing. Or 2 or 3-drop would be good. Opponent's going down to 6. And keeping and scrying to the top. So we're going to lead off with Healer's Hawk. And if we don't draw a 2-drop next turn or a 3-drop Convoke creature, which we don't have, We'll go and just flower up another land. Alright. So let's just go ahead and combat. Healer's Hawk is going to be blanked pretty quickly this game, so I do need to make sure I'm getting my convoked creatures down as quick as possible to make use of this Healer's Hawk. Basically, Birds of Paradise. Oh, I guess I kind of messed up there. I'm going to go fetch a Plains. I should have played Flower first and then played my land. I just gave my opponent free information about a card in my hand. Plus, if I have to play something beside the Plains next turn, then it looks pretty bad. Alright, Electromancer on 2. Ugh, come on, deck. This is actually pretty bad. If we don't draw a land or a creature, then we can't cast any of the spells in our hand. We're not going to march for 1. I do like the little life buffer that Healer's Hawk gives us, but... Ooh, looks like they skipped combat. Yeah, let's just go ahead and play Rosemane Centaur. If it gets bounced or countered, it gets bounced or countered. Whisper Agent. Okay. It's not the worst thing they could have had there. They definitely forgot to attack with Electromancer, I'm pretty sure. And they kept their card on top with Whisper Agent. Ooh, Engineer Informant. This gives them pretty solid double block against Rosemane Centaur. Because this plus Whisper Agent can block, and I'd be trading Rosemane Centaur for one of them. This surveils 1, right? So they drew the card that they knew with Whisper Agent. Now they get to look at 2 more cards with Dimir Informant. They are at 3 cards, and they didn't ditch anything, though. So they like what they're getting here. Bounty of Might. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could play another Rosemane Centaur. I assume they're going to go for some sort of double block here. I can't Bounty of Might. I can't cast anything bigger, so maybe I just play this Rosemane Centaur and attack for 1 in the air. That gives me essentially 7 mana next turn. If I draw a land, I can play Flight of Equinox. I don't love the idea of trading off Centaur for one of these. Although maybe I should be smashing while I can. They know I have combat tricks. I'm just going to play another Rosemane Centaur and attack for 1. There we go. Next turn I attack with 2, then I'm a little bit happier to trade them off. Having both these in my opening hands has not been great. You want to draw these later. Alright, let's see what you got, opponent. Guildgate. 4-drop. Ooh, Rampage and Monument. So this is a 4-mana 3/3 with Trample, and it gets bigger whenever you cast a multicolor spell. I have essentially 8 mana here. I can cast a 4/5. If I attack with both of these and one of them dies, that doesn't work quite well. So we're going to play Flight of Equinox. Probably just pass the turn. Take a hit if we have to. That taps me down on everything, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I like taking this a little slow, developing my board presence, dwindling my opponent's supply of cards. 5-drop. Watching the Mist. That doesn't stack up too well against Flight of Equinox. They do get an attack on me here. Well, I guess they don't, actually. Flight of Equinox can just attack through anything or block whatever attacks me. And they're not convoking a pump spell. Man, they left on top again, both cards with Watcher in the Mist. Night of Autumn. That can actually kill Rampage and Monument. 1, 2, 3. I'm 1 away from casting Bounty of Might, which probably wraps the game up. So Flight of Equinox can attack. Let's say I kill this 3/3. Then Flight can attack. Rosemane can attack. Both Rosemanes can attack. And the worst they can do is double block, double block. That's actually not great. Or I could just play Arboretum Elemental, which completely taps me out again. I think I want to attack with Flight of Equinox and destroy Rampage and Monument. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Leave the Rosemanes back. I don't want to trade them for, like, I guess I'd be fine trading it for Watcher, but I don't want to trade for Whisper Agent. And the lower my opponent gets, the better Bounty of Might get. plus the better March of Multitudes gets. So let's play Night of Autumn. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Man, that's so good. And I could cast March of the Multitudes for 3. Muse Drake. They left that on top, or maybe they already had it in hand. Muse Drake's not impressive here. Doesn't even line up a good double block against Flight of Equinox. And they're attacking? Man, my opponent don't care about me at all. Alright. So they can't have a... They could have Disdainful Stroke. Which wouldn't even be the worst. I think I'm going to go for... Block. They can't kill both Centaurs now. They could kill one. They could trade Whisper Agent for a Centaur if they block with these two. Or I suppose these two. But Whisper Agent plus another creature would have to block Rosemane, which means there's no way for the block the second Rosemane. So I'm going to go ahead and attack with these. Healer's Hawk going to sit back. I will not Bounty of Might. Although I guess, yeah. Alright, cool with that. I'm surprised they're just putting that. I guess they have to respect Bounty of Might here. Trade this for... whatchamacallit. Or do I march now? If I march now, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, this has got to be good. Maybe there's a way to still cast Arboretum Elemental. Now I'm going to do it before I lose this. My opponent's going to be like, what? X is 7. Yeah, 7/1/1s has to be great here. And if they counter this, that clears the way for Bounty of Might. I just want to do it while I get 1 extra token off this Centaur. They could have brought in something like Mephitic Vapor. Assign attacker? Yeah, that's how I want to assign it. Okay. Alright, yeah, my opponent's in trouble now. If they have like the -1/-1, then they're in a pretty good spot. 4/5 and a 4/4. Alright, Selesnya Rares did it. Worked pretty nicely there. Game 2, kind of rough, but we're going to have those hands sometimes. We just got to face it. And that was pretty sweet. We have a lot of rares. Alright, can you imagine if we untapped and drew Camaraderie? Like, draw 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, gain 11 life, draw 11 cards, everything gets +1. Alright, we took down Grixis. Let's see if we can take down some other decks. See you in round 2. Round 2 against Protor Hummel on the draw. I don't think I can keep this. These are both blanks right now. I would have to draw perfectly for this hand to go well. There's no way I can keep that. This is a lot better. I'm going to Flower for a Forest here. Yeah, I'm keeping. Camaraderie on top? Probably have 2 creatures. I don't think I can keep Camaraderie on top right now. I just want to hit creatures and interaction. That's kind of wishful thinking. I don't want that in my opening hand anyway. Like, if I just naturally draw a Forest here, then I don't have to even cast Flower, which is fine. But, also, we're playing against Boros. We have a pretty good hand against them. It's going to gain us some life and block pretty well, and then we can convoke out the Rosemane Centaur on turn 4. Ooh, hello. Shaboom. Nice little roadblock here. Also gets us 1 turn closer to the Centaur. Not really, if we still just cast this on turn 3. Ooh, the 2/2 First Striker. That's pretty good. Let's go ahead and Flower here. Get a Forest, play the Forest, pass the turn. This card is very good. One of the best Mentors in the entire set. If not the best. Probably not the best, but it's definitely got to be up there, right? Not going to block this thing. If they play, it'd be really bad if they play like a hasty 1-drop or something. But Boros is the beat. Boros is really good in this format. If you get a bunch of 2-drops, the Mentors do kind of take over. Yep. We'll take the hit. That's not very good. But Centaur is very good. The problem with Boros, of course, is that they just always have pumps. So, or Luminous Bonds. Although, if they deal with the Centaur, I'm going to block no matter what, assuming that I get a chance to, and they use a pump spell, that's fine. I get to play this 4/4, then hopefully, like, draw some other interaction in between. Things like Knight of Autumn would be really good. The gain 4 is nice. I don't care that I'm gaining my opponent 4 life here. I care that I'm gaining 4 life and putting a 3/3 on board. My opponent has to use a good removal spell on this. It makes it less likely that they have a great removal spell for Rosemane Centaur. But a lot of times Boros just plays out some dorky creatures. I mean, this isn't dorky, but this is definitely dorky. And then you just back it up with Sure Strikes or 1 mana +2/+2s, and suddenly you're dying. Boros will beat you down. We don't have great removal for this matchup, so don't have high hopes for it. I think it gets a little better after sideboard, and we can bring in some of the high toughness creatures, which seem good here. Alright, so they're going to Justice Strike the 3/3 after making us wait forever. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to block here now. Just preserve my life total. Doesn't look like they're going to have a 4th land. They do not, so they're on all action. And the forest is pretty good. I'll go and play a 4/4. Probably, if they jam with both creatures, I think I'm taking it. I'm still at 20 life, and if I can Bounty of Might, I probably get to blow them out. Especially with this lifelinker on board, that seems really good. March of the Multitude seems great against this opponent. Just gives me infinite chump blockers and extra life. I'm not going to block. Plus, if I don't block, I get to probably attack with my Rosemane Centaur. They clearly have like a first strike or something. I need my creatures on board here. Healer's Hawk. Well, they could still have first strike. Alright, just get another dude on board. Not going to jam into Healer's Hawk, although I guess if they want to trade Sure Strike for a Soldier token, I'm okay with that. So I'll get this attack in. Oh, they are going to get Stalwart. So they're going to be gaining some extra life. Yeah, they're going to get to mentor up this Healer's Hawk. I don't have a great answer for the Healer's Hawk. So they're on 3 action spells plus what I imagine has got to be a number of 4 drops and at least 1 pump spell. Assume everything's attacking here. Yep. Them gaining the life does mean Bounty of Might's probably not just going to straight up kill us, or kill them. But I don't hate where we're at. I might Bounty of Might the Soldier and just gain 18 life or whatever. What happened there? They direct currented my Conclave Guardian. Ooh, March of the Multitudes. Still makes me want to wait on the bounty. Although I guess I can attack for 9, 13, put them down to 12 and gain 9 life, go to 18, and then March of the Multitudes after that. Direct Current's not great against the 4/4. I mean, I would love to use Bounty of Might as a trick here. The problem, of course, is that if I think they have a burn spell in response, we get destroyed. We lose the bounty and probably the soldier as well. So I'm thinking whether I want to go up to 19 here, and then I'm at the point where I'm probably blocking with this Rosemane Centaur into whatever they have. It's kind of tough, isn't it? Could also just play March of the Multitudes. If I attack with both of these, I can march for 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then hold up Bounty of Might for all those lifelinkers. That doesn't seem bad. Or I could just march for 5. At the very least, I'm attacking with Rosemane. I think making the extra token is going to be better than getting an extra point of damage in here. So let's go ahead and jam. Just pass the turn. I mean, if they like tap out before combat or something, I might go for Bounty of Might. Or they try to like burn me and respond, or like, oh, Rebel Belt Boar. They're going to use that on Healer's Hawk. Oh no, they're going to use it on this so that it can mentor Healer's Hawk. That makes sense. But now maybe Bounty of Might's going to get him. This is going to be a 3/3 flying lifelinker. But I don't think there's any 1-mana red spell here, so I'm going to trade Bounty of Might for this and 9 life, or March of the Multitudes. I could go Rosemane Centaur plus double block. I think it's probably better to March here. Yeah, Bounty of Might's going to gain me a lot of life here. So I'm just going to take 7, go down to 2, and then crack back with Bounty of Might. It's going to be a race, though. We could use Flight of Equinox or something like that. Huh? That's Flight of Equinox. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'm going to go for Bounty of Might this turn. If they only attack with the fire next turn, then I'm dead, so I think I have to send some number of these bad boys in. Leave a couple back for chumps, I suppose. Leave 1 back. Oh, there's another one hiding under there. That's annoying, but it's not going to matter too much. I assume they block both of these. I get a pretty big swing here. So one of these, one of these, one of these. We're going to gain 9 life, which is dope. They're going to take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, go down to 15. I'm sorry, they take 9. Then next turn we have a potential blocker for this Healer's Hawk. They still have a direct current, which isn't exactly great against my creatures. Plus, now if they attack with this Sunhome Style War, I've got a fine block that I'm okay doing here. It's going to be another boar. Wouldn't mind just drawing an answer to this, but Flight of Equinox does kind of do the trick. 3 mana, pre-combat. Ooh, Sky Knight Legionnaire. Yeah, that's good. We are still dying, our opponent's gaining life. I'm going to jam with all my creatures. Oh, I guess I can't jam with all of them. So I have 7, 8, 9. I need to leave 2 back on defense. But I think I'm going to attack with the rest. Alright, there's 2 of them in there? Yeah. So they eat 1 of them. They take 7. That I don't gain life off that, but I still gain 3 here. They go down to 11. I play a 4/5 flyer. Eight. Oh, what? Oh, for some reason I was thinking this had the Arboretum elemental cost. I could have attacked with 1 more soldier there. And Rosemane. Yeah, I could have attacked with everything. Rosemane Centaur plus my lands would have tapped. I missed 2 points of damage, which is not good. See, my opponent can deal with Flight of Equinox. They have 3 cards in hand. They have a direct current. Alright, so they're willing to trade direct current plus I'm going to take this hit. I assume this is Healer's Hawk plus direct current. If they had Sure Strike, they would have attacked with Sky Knight Legionnaire as well. Hammer Dropper I am not worried about. I guess it's really good with Healer's Hawk. Alright, that was not a great draw, but I still get to jam with the 4/4. I can't really just swing all out with these flyers anymore. I think this flyer's got to go as well. So 4/4, if this trades for Hammer Dropper, then that's okay. And if not, then whatever. We could use like Camaraderie or one of our Flower Flourishes right now. And I think that would be pretty close to game. In fact, for that reason, I'm going to play out a Forest, because if I draw Camaraderie, I want to be able to play at least 1 more spell that I draw off of it. This turn, if they attack with Healer's Hawk, I'm probably going to block with Flight. Although that leaves me open to these other flyers getting in there. Yeah, I don't love it. Yeah, I'm going to go for the block this turn. I don't think they have a combat trick, but I assume I'm getting direct currented, which means they also have to discard a card from their hand, and that's okay. Draw a hit. It's not a hit. And they can start sending in the clowns. Yeah, we're in pretty bad shape. We could just draw a Flower Flourish here. And they can hit me for 6 this turn. Oh, 5-drop off the top. Bargain Sergeant? Yeah, Bargain Sergeant. Ooh, you're gonna hit me for a lot. No Healer's Hawk? And they're just gaining so much life. Yeah, I think we flooded out too much. If we had had a Flourish, this would have been great. So bump up that. I think I'm just gonna die. I can't imagine I have too many draws left here. Camaraderie would still be something, but I'm gonna have to block with some creatures this turn. Just put 2 in front of the Barging Sergeant. Take 1,000,000. Go to 4 at the end of this combat. My opponent's going to be at 19. We have to draw like Camaraderie or Bust here. Yeah. Oh, wow. Super flooded. 15 lands in the deck. 15 lands in the deck. All right. Against Boros. Pretty good Boros deck, too. We only saw like 1 removal spell from him, though. No, they had Direct Current. Okay. Against Boros, probably want Hitchclaw Recluse. It blocks those flyers pretty well, even if they have tricks. Ladev Guardian's not bad against them either. 2/4 blocks a lot of their creatures. Righteous Blow seems pretty decent. I like Portcullis Vine a lot less because it just lets them freely mentor and attack with creatures. It blocks them, but it just lets them freely play things. Might of the Masses seems not amazing here. And Arboretum Elemental does not seem great either, just on account of how expensive it is. Go ahead and bring the Boros Guildgate back in here, since Integrity would be huge against them. Drop that 1 top-end creature. 2 drops are pretty important. My 3 drops are nice. I think the 1 card here that I'm looking at is like Ladev Guardian, maybe not necessary. It's 1 more or 1 less mana than Rosemane Centaur. Might of the Masses might not be great against them. Since they're going to hit us with flyers, first strikers, combat tricks. Yeah, I'll go ahead and cut the pump spell here. We'll play what we got. I think we have an okay matchup against Boros. We've got a lot of ways to just block their creatures. We're on the play against them as well. Let's see. Righteous Blow is pretty nice here. We're on the play. We have Flower to go get our 2nd mana source, so this is essentially a 2-land hand, and it's got some pretty good interaction. I think I'm going to keep it on account that I do have 2 mana sources. But if I don't draw the 3rd, then we just straight up lose. Righteous Blow is going to buy us time against a single creature, but that's about it. And this just gets blown out by a +2/+2 anyway. So we're going to turn 1, Flower for a Forest, and then hope that we draw the 3rd land. But this hand is good if we draw mana. Hitchclaw Recluse is nice against them. Come on, Protor Hummel. Hey, if I lose to Boros, then that's fine. I think my deck is nuts, though, so losing to Boros would be sad, but hands like this in our 15-land deck could be the death of us. If we'd only drawn Camaraderie or Flourish last game, Flourish on all those 1/1 lifelinkers, may not have won us the game, but definitely would have kept us in there for a long time. Actually, it might have just won us the game. Who knows? Our opponent went crazy with Healer's Hawk. Gained a lot of life off that thing, too. Makes me wish I had more removal in my deck, but sadly I do not. And, yeah, we're still waiting on Protor Hummel here. Alright, Protor Hummel decides to keep at 7. I don't know if that's a risky keep or if they just didn't know the round started. Casting Flower. Maybe. Opponent's gonna Pact of Negation us. Nope. Alright. Grab a Forest and ship the turn. Be awkward to draw a Selesnya Signet here. Not that I'd complain, but I don't like giving my opponent free information. Also, like a tiny thing, but it's relevant when your opponent fetches up like a gate or something with District Guide to note which art the gate has, because then if they play a gate with a different art, that gives you information as well. Just a tiny, tiny little thing that won't come up, in 99% of your matches, but there are 2 arts for each gate. Let's go and see the Healer Hawk. Hey man, I wish I had a turn 1 Healer Hawk. Alright, not what we wanted to draw. We are going to Righteous Blow the Healer Hawk, probably. And we've got fingers crossed for a third land. If we draw a third land, I like this hand a lot, because Generous Stray draws us into more gas. I wouldn't mind a flower here. Oh, please don't put a Maniacal Rage on this Healer Hawk. Opponent might be having connection issues of some sort. Considering how long it is. Oh, they're going to Maniacal Rage that Hawk, aren't they? No? I don't know what they're doing. Well, who knows? Be interesting if they play like a 2-power creature before combat. If I actually want to Righteous Blow the Hawk. If it's a mentor creature, I think I have to still Righteous Blow the Hawk because they're still going to get the mentor trigger. If I let him attack with this plus a mentor, even if I kill the mentor creature, they're still going to get a counter on this hawk. So I think it's just right to Righteous Blow this hawk and pray to the combat gods and the land gods that we draw our third land. Or at least a flower, something to hit us a third land. We have 4 gates in the deck. I wouldn't complain about drawing a gate, but it would be kind of the worst potential land draw that we could hit. I guess flower would be about the same. Yeah, opponent's having connection issues. They haven't declared attacks yet. Alright, it's going to be a choppy one, boys. Now, if I Righteous Blow this and they give that Healer Hawk +2/+2, that's not the worst, because it means they're not going to be casting a 2-drop this turn. Or if they pump it in some way, but Goblin Locksmith. This is the one that can attack through defenders, or rather, defenders can't attack at all, but I have a pretty good answer to that in Generous Stray, which I'm going to play. I want to hit my lands. I want to hit my 4th, 5th, 6th land drop, and even though Hitchcall Recluse blocks this better, I do want to dig a card deeper to try and hit land. Alright, Guildgate is fine. At the very least, if I don't draw another mana source to play this Centaur, I can play Hitchcall Recluse plus Selesnya Guildgate. And then that gets us closer to Siege Worm, March, so on and so forth. Alright, Legionnaire. Well, Recluse is good against that. 2-1, probably not attacking, though. And I suppose I should get my Charger. Nice play from the opponent attacking with that. Since they know I need Convoke, it's good for them to get the creature off board. But I need to preserve my life total, so I'm fine. I'm going to let my opponent dash, and then I'm going to grab a Charger. Alright, crisis averted. Now, I'm actually in a really interesting spot here if they attack, because they should attack. I can't Convoke anything. It's a free attack, basically. I'm not going to attack them back. And the worst I can do is just block if they don't have anything. But if they do have something and I block, then I lose my creature. I can't actually cast Rosemane Centaur. So if they attack, which they should do whether they have something or not, I'm in a little bit of a tough spot. The saving grace there is that I'm fine with them using combat tricks and removal now. And I at least could cast Ladev Guardian straight up, if nothing else. We've seen Justice Strike out of them, which is good against both of my top-end creatures here. Yeah, the connection issues are real from the opponent right now. What I don't want to see is something like Hammer Dropper this turn. I think if they attack with Sky Knight Legionnaire, I'm going to block. And the reason for that is if they want to pump this or use a spell to kill my Hitchclaw Recluse, I've still got to play. That's still going to let me curve into Rosemane Centaur. Not curve necessarily, but play it. And I would rather them use a pump spell to kill off a 1/4 than to just drop another threatening creature on board. So, we'll see. Plus, they could just straight up not have anything, play a 4-drop anyway. This is going to be a rough match to watch, though, if The connection issues are that bad. Alright, Healer's Hawk. Well, no 4-drop this turn. And Lava Coil. Gross. Lava Coil being one of the best cards they could have had there. This card is very good. Now they've got their flying army online. I don't have a good way to deal with flyers. I can play Conclave. I can play both of these. No, I can't. Ugh, that sucks. Alright, Lodev Guardian it is, and then I just have to accept the 3 damage in the air. Plus they didn't play a 4th land, so they're on all gas again. I don't feel good about how this is going. Racing is just not going to be an option. Ooh, Peacemaker's good. Alright, so I think I go Guild Mage plus Centaur this turn. Or Rosemane Centaur. Get some sort of clock on them. Peacemaker is good against them. You know, if they Justice Strike my 4/4, then they Justice Strike me, right? Oh, I can't do that either, can I? No, I don't know why I keep thinking I can do that. So if that's the case, maybe it's right to just play this Centaur. March of the Multitudes for 2 seems pretty bad. Could also just play Peacemaker here. Yeah, let's play Centaur. At least this clocks him a little bit. They haven't seen a target for Justice Strike yet, so if they're holding that, then they're probably going to use it on the 4/4, which is okay. Not feeling good about how this is going. I'm going to be at 10. We know they're on all gas in their hand. Yep, they had the Justice Strike too. Dropping a 4-drop, Hammer Dropper, which is going to make this a bigger clock. I don't think we're winning this game, but we'll see what happens. Drawing land solid. So now I go Peacemaker, Conclave, Guild Mage. I'm still going to start taking 4 in the air here. And I think I attack with Lodev Guardian. Since I'm going to have 2 potential blockers for this Hammer Dropper. I can't block the flyers anyway. I just feel like this clock's going to be too much for me to deal with. I need to get Lifelinkers on board and draw like Bounty of Might. Alright, plus Barge and Sergeant. Man, my opponent has just had 6 draws. At the very least, I can kill both of these, right? This mentors this. I trade off for both of them. They're probably going to just put counters on the flyers, though. Then have to trade off on the ground anyway, and then it's just my 2/4 against their 5 power and flyers. We dying, boys. They are on 1 card. Yeah, so one's going to go here. They're probably putting them both on Healer's Hawk. Yeah, let's just trade off on the ground. Opponent going up to 27. Alright, that does something. I think I'm going to have to march for 3 and then hope that I get like a big life sling out of Flourish, which isn't good. But I don't think I have much of a choice here. March through 3. I could cast Flower. Nah. That's going to be the option here. My opponent's going to see it coming when I don't attack, of course. And they could also just like double direct current us out of the game. Casting something pre-combat. Jeez. Stop, opponent. Them having this sort of draw plus the double removal spell was just insane. Well, they have a direct current, then we're dead. Or they have a pump spell, we're dead. We know that their last card's probably a non-land. Ugh, stupid flyers. Alright, let's go ahead and make some creatures. I wouldn't actually mind a pause for reflection in this matchup if I had one. Alright, land. Untapped land. That's not going to do it, is it? I guess I get to attack with my dudes here, so I'm not just dead. Siege Worm, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, yep. Let's get in there. Put my opponent to some life total that doesn't matter. I have to chump with Healer's Hawk. If they have a removal spell, I'm dead anyway. And then next turn, yeah, they're just snapping off the removal spell. Yep, can't block. Alright, opponent got me, which kind of sucks. I feel like I had the tools there and just didn't draw it. But again, not having removal does it. So as sick as our deck is, we're going to have to settle for a 2-1 if we win the next game. And yeah, that's just going to be how it is. Disappointed about how that went. But my opponent had a nuts draw, like just 1-drop, 2-drop, removal spells, 4-drop, 5-drop, yeah. They got us, and we didn't have the removal to keep up with them. So, I will see you in round 3. Let's recuperate. How do I feel about this hand? Am I on the play or the draw? I think I'm on the draw. Yeah, I like this on the draw a lot. Again, the stupid Arboretum Elemental's in our hand, but it's essentially a 2-lander with Flower, and if I just naturally draw my second land, then it's a 3-lander. Plus I have the 1-drop, so I'm going to keep... We're against Byron R. Remember, I can cast Integrity here, too, without red mana, but Intervention I can't actually cast in my game 1, because I don't have the Boros Guildgate, so... This is just going to be +2/+2 until end of turn, which looks pretty bad alongside Might of the Masses. This is just going to be better nearly every single time. Waiting on Byron. Alright, against another green deck with one... okay, sure. Sure. Are they going to curve out? They're going to play a 2-power creature and then a 3-power creature? Alright, let's go Hunted W. Pass the turn. I mean, I'll be happy to use one of these combat tricks to try and trade off for this thing. And they block, or if they attack into Hunted Witness, I'm just blocking right now. Yeah, I didn't think so. Also, that's an awkward follow-up to Pelt Collector. Let's go Flower, and then play a Forest. Forest lets us cast Might of the Masses, but not Integrity. That's fine, we need a Forest anyway. So let's go and cast Flower, get our Forest. Shaboom. I'd trade Hunted Witness for Hired Poisoner, too. Just replaces itself. I'd be down half a card to my opponent's 1 card. We have Knight of Autumn next turn. Although, I guess if they're Golgari, they want creatures to trade here, but I'm fine trading half of a card for a full card, even if it means their Undergrowth cards are a little bit better later on. So I don't expect an attack here. Alright, Guildgate, solid. If I play Guildgate this turn, then I can definitely Knight of Autumn next turn, which is kind of awkward against this Hired Poisoner. It means I might just want to gain 4 life off of this instead of making it a 4/3. Although the 4/3 kind of demands the block on the Hired Poisoner. Could also hold on to this. Or gain 4 life doesn't seem bad. It's just automatically going to trade. I'm going to play Plains this turn and Knight of Autumn. I'm going to make it a 4/3. That just means my opponent is like incentivized to trade off for it. It doesn't have to attack either. I don't need the 4 life right now. I could attack with Hunted Witness, but I don't actually want to trade that off. And playing Knight of Autumn on board this turn means that Rosemane Centaur definitely gets to come down next turn if they don't kill one of these. They still can't really attack me with the Poisoner because of this Hunted Witness. But Pelt Collector's probably getting big now. Ooh, another Death Toucher. I'm fine trading Knight of Autumn for these Death Touchers. If I attack, they're snapping off a block with Hired Poisoner. That was a good draw. Now I can go Healer's Hawk into Rosemane Centaur. Is that right? Yeah, 3 creatures plus 2 lands plus play the Guildgate. Yeah, I like this. It means they get to attack me with their Death Touchers, but I get to start swinging back with Healer's Hawks and maybe even play this Arboretum Elemental. I do need to clear the Death Touchers before my ground creatures get good, but it's fine. This is a matchup where Might of the Mass is going to be great. Might even trade Rosemane Centaur for, like, Pitiless Gorgon or something. The less Death Touchers they have early on, the better my big Convoke creatures get. It's not like these pump spells are particularly good against a bunch of creatures, although Might of the Masses loses some of its value. Yeah, I don't care about that coming in. Taking 1 is fine. I would actually rather trade this for the 2/2, so I think they should have attacked with the 2/2. Since I'm probably not incentivized to block anyway. Severed Strands. Alright, I mean, they 2 for 1, they gain a life. It's not insane. Could attack with Knight of Autumn here. I do want to get Death Touches off board, but Arboretum Elemental gets a little bit harder to cast. I could also swing with Hunted Witness and use one of my combat tricks. Or I could just keep my cards. I think Knight of Autumn is going to be fine on defense here. Yeah, get Healer Talk in there. Give me that life. Give me that life. I'll pass. Do gotta watch out for Pelt Collector being too big. But I don't mind them Sever Strand in that card. Generous Stray, another card that does not pump Pelt Collector. I wouldn't mind drawing one of my Generous Strays. If they attack, probably going to trade Hunted Witness plus Integrity. Ooh, that's fantastic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do I just play this right now, draw 3, gain 3? I can't cast Arboretum Elemental. Oh, I can't cast this, can I? Nope. So, that being said, I'll just attack with Healer Talk and pass. One reason not to trade, I mean, besides, you know, Camaraderie just getting really good, Arboretum Elemental, so on. One reason not to trade off Knight of Autumn for this Pitiless Gorgon is that it sets me back on Convoke, but it also fuels their Undergrowth here. And they could be sitting on 1 or 2 cards that are just mediocre without Undergrowth. If they attack me with anything, I'm just not going to take that. That actually sets up a nice attack back with Knight of Autumn. I'm gaining 1 per turn, so it's not like this is dealing a lot of damage with the Healer Talk on board. Of course, they could just play a big creature. Ooh, that's going to get back Hired Poisoner, which is fine. Just fine. It is also a 3/4, which is a relevant body. And it grows Pelt Collector? Opponent's outcarding us for sure, but we get to cast Camaraderie. That's going to stop, I think. Alright, I like drawing that, so we're going to attack with Healer's Hawk. I like keeping my tricks back for defense here rather than power, since there's probably a point where they're going to start attacking with something that's not just a 2/2 Death Touch. Play Rosemane Centaur. I'm gonna tap Hunted Witness here, just to keep up one of my combat tricks. It's kind of suspicious, right? This is also just better against the 3/4. I don't have to represent a combat trick with the Knight of Autumn against it. Poisoner's fine. Still have 3 cards in the opponent's hand. Still not blocking that. I mean, going down to 18, it's not like I'm on a big clock or anything. I can play Arboretum Elemental. It's just a question of how greedy I want to be with this Camaraderie. Ooh, that's really good. If I play Arboretum Elemental, I'm taking a big hit, because I'd have to tap everything. So what I think I'm going to do is just play Ladev Champion. Although it is tempting. No, I still can't cast Camaraderie. I don't know why I keep thinking I have a 6th land when I don't. Alright, Healer Talk coming in. Rosemane would trade for a 1/1, so I'm not in love with that. And we'll play Ladev Champion. Basically, our life totals are going to keep becoming equal if these are the only 2 things attacking. This actually lets me hold off both combat tricks. One card I assume my opponent probably has here is, I can't remember the name, Undercity something. The 4 mana, all your creatures gain Death Touch, and you fight a creature, which is going to take one of my creatures out. There's not a lot I can do about it. Plus, it means I'm going to take a hit back, but that's fine. Might of the Masses is starting to look really good here. If I get low on life, then I can pump Healer's Hawk +5/+5. Plus, this can start pumping out tokens. Alright, 5-drop. Affectionate Indrake. This is not going to go well for my opponent. Probably going to fight the Flyer. A Dev Champion. Alright, and then I'm going to give it +5, and they're just going to... well, this is kind of awkward, actually. Because if I use Might of the Masses, they do not actually have to fight. But this just counters the ability. I think it's fine. Yeah, I think it's fine. Oh, they have the +3/+3. Nicely done. So that would make it 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is going to be a 7/7 as well. Do I just trade these two? I think that's fine, and then I keep up this extra combat trick. Well, Dev Champion's nice here, but it's not that nice. 7/7, +5. Yeah, this is okay. Pelt Collector's going to become a 5/5 here. That's a solid card. Man, if I find a removal spell for Hybrid Poisoner, we getting in there. So they lost 2 cards to my 2 cards. It was a nice little 2 for 2. That's going to be great, too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm still not finding that 6th land. Pelt Collector, I assume, is going to start attacking. But I have a nice little chump here. I guess it has Trample now, doesn't it? Yeah, once it gets more than 3 counters, it gains Trample. Alright. I'm fine with that. Probably should have just cast Arboretum Elemental that turn. Pelt Collector's probably attacking. Death Toucher's probably attacking. Really? Okay. Could trade a Hunted Witness and Integrity to take care of the 2/2 Death Toucher. That doesn't really do anything about the 1/1 Death Toucher. Alright, fetch up 2 gates. They have plenty of mana, so I don't care too much about them casting that. I guess it makes their draws a little bit better because they have less lands. They didn't even get gates. Or no, they got a Golgari Gate and a basic, I think. Ba-boom. 6 land. Prey Upon. Prey Upon's nice. Because I can go Prey Upon here, here. Get my 1/1. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I could cast Arboretum Elemental and not Prey Upon anything. Or I could Prey Upon the 4/4 on the 3/4. Just get a big creature out of the way. Or I could just hold on to Prey Upon. Cast Arboretum Elemental and accept my big swing back. I think I like Prey Upon the Hunted Witness on the 1/1 Death Toucher. Yeah, let's do that. And then attack with Rosemane Centaur this turn. Keeping up integrity. This will be 6. So they could double block with this plus this, but if Rosemane trades for Pelt Collector, then I'm not too worried about anything my opponent has. It looks suspicious too. I mean, they could just have another combat trick. I don't mind that either. Just get 2 creatures off board. That's not great for me, considering they're going to have like 4 creatures in graveyard now, but I could do worse than getting a 2-for-1 off of my 1 mana spell here. So, block like that. Give this +2/+2. They have another Pax Favor here, then sure. Or, you know, I don't know, instant speed kill spell for 2 mana. Don't think there are very many of those. Their Undergrowth is big. They're going to start playing some big boys, I assume. But I've got a lot of neat tricks if I draw my 6th mana. I assume this 2/2 is no longer attacking. I could be wrong. Depends on what they play here. They've got tons of mana, plenty of creatures in their graveyard. pretty big board. I mean, a good board presence for sure. Another Fine Broker, getting back Fine Broker, or getting back Affectionate Indrik. Yeah, they're gonna go off with Fine Brokers. That's super nice. Gravedigger into Gravedigger. Nice. Oh, Veilshade? I don't care about Veilshade. They want to dump a bunch of mana into that, and fine. This card is decent. Don't get me wrong. March of the Multitudes would be a great draw. Alright, 6 lands. So that gives us some options here. Can attack with everything now. And eat their board with Bounty of Might. Or I could just go Camaraderie. Let's me attack with a 5/5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Yeah, I'm going to attack with everything and just Bounty of Might them. I'm not going to lose anything. If they just use their mana, like getting back Fine Brokers, then so be it. Okay, I could lose that. But that's not even the worst. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to gain 7, 8 life as well. What if I 4, 5 plus 9 is... Actually, back it up. Back it up. What if I just go Bounty of Might, this thing, that's 10, 14, put them down to 1, they're dead to this. If they have literally no answer, which they haven't yet. I think I'm going to put them to 1 here. These still trade. Hold on, I'm not clear on what's happening here. There we go. We know one of the cards in their hand is Fine Broker. They're going to need a removal spell for a flyer here, or else they're just dead. Or I guess they could gain some life. They have 2 unknowns and a Fine Broker, so what could they get back? Indrik, but they can't cast Fine Broker plus Indrik. Poisoner doesn't do it. Generous Stray draws them into a card, but that would be 4, 5, 6, 7. They would need to find a 2-mana spell and have a land. I'm at 26, so I'm not worried about dying. Alright, nice. Bounty of Might, sick. Sick, sick, sick. And our opponent's deck also sick, sick, sick. At least they're gonna... Their deck matches up very well against our deck. I like Righteous Blow here a lot because it deals with the Death Touchers. Portcullis Vine looks bad. Generous Stray looks a little bit better. I don't mind just trading that off for something, right? Sumala Woodshaper, also a card that I'm fine trading off for a Death Toucher. Good body to put on board, trade off, and then be quite happy with it. Just not super efficient on its own. Cut one of the top end creatures. Arboretum Elemental, again, looking really bad against an army of little Death Touch creatures. So maybe I bring in Woodshapers. I could easily see it being just like some random 3-drop Ladev Guardian or something like that. Vigor Spore Worm, I don't really love here. Generous Stray. I think our deck's fine. I don't think we're going to need it. Let's go ahead and just jam with that. Bring in a pretty subpar creature, but one that digs us into answers. Or not answers, but digs us into action. And Flower pulling its weight here as a second land. Expensive hand, but good if I draw a third land. Generous Stray. Yeah, 2-drop, 3-drop. Can't ask for much more here. I mean, I can. I'm going to ask for a third land, but hopefully I'll just draw like a Selesnius Gate off the top. I'll take a Forest. Do I cast Flower? Because if I just naturally draw a third land, I think I'll give it a couple turns. I'm going to play this 2-drop, and then my opponent might play... No, 1-drop. Okay. If I just naturally draw the third source, then I don't have to worry about it. Be a little awkward if I don't draw the third source, then I'm going to have to use my turn 3 just casting Flower, and that messes up my curve. But I think with 3 draw steps, I'm fine just passing that as it is. If this is the Gorgon, then I'm really happy to trade this 2-drop off for it. Really nothing. Okay, so we are going to have to Flower here. Let's get a I guess Plains is more important because March, but for it doesn't really matter. Let's go get a Plains. Play it. Am I worried about them doing anything instant speed here? No. They want to kill my 2-drop to kill it. They could have Whispering guy. Whispering Snitch. Not Whispering Snitch. Whisper Agent. Also, them trading off creatures is profitable since they have double Fine Broker. They can just get them back. Veiled Shade. Not a bad threat. Alright, Guildgate's solid. Play the Generous Stray. I will definitely trade this off for Veiled Shade while they can't pump it. That does mean they get a pretty good attack on me. Ooh, really? Seriously? You're okay with that? I mean, they can get it back, but that's not even like a good card to get back, really. This doesn't mess me up for being able to convoke Rosemane Centaur. I guess it messes up these two. Maybe I shouldn't have taken that trade. I don't mind drawing lands here either. We are going to do the March into Camaraderie, I think, and it's going to be absurd when it happens. What? Shockland? Not paying? Fine Broker back my Veil. No, this is not green mana. Oh, wait, they're backing up. Ooh, Lurcher. 3/3 Lurcher. Not scared of that. I like this card a lot more than I thought I would like this card. Alright, let's see what we got here. So, I cannot cast either of these because I was stupid and traded off my 2-drop. That's okay. Also, I guess that was bad. This would have been stuck as a 2/2 in their hand. I can cast Centaur, or I can go March of the Multitudes for 3. I think I'd rather wait on March until I know I have the 6 land for Camaraderie, because we spent like all last game not really having it. So let's just go ahead and cast ye old 4/4 Vigilant, which matches up well against their creature. Pass the turn. The more creatures on board, the better. It lets us have all these options. I think our deck is super solid. Against these slower, grindier decks, I think we're just going to run them over. I don't think we have a good matchup against Boros because we don't have good removal against them. But they want to kill one of my creatures here. That's okay. I'd rather them kill these creatures than these creatures. I don't know how they beat March into Camaraderie, though. Alright, they did Fine Broker back a whatchamacallit. Sumala, which... Okay. I have 7. I can play Siege Worm. Or I can play Wood Shaper. This cannot hit a land, which is stupid. I guess Siege Worm, right? If I attack with Rosemane Centaur, they just trade off a creature for it. Yeah, I'm just going to play Siege Worm. More creatures, the better. You can get through a 4/4. Might not be able to get through a 5/5. Siege Worm's scary. Siege Worm's so good. Yeah, I actually like Siege Worm. Like, imagine if this was just an Arboretum Elemental. I wouldn't be able to cast it. I wouldn't be able to cast it for like 3 more turns. Oh no, Severed Strands. Oh, but they had to sack a creature to that, which is fine and all. I don't think this is attacking. Yeah, they want to have the double block. Alright, so here I can go Conclave Guildmage. And that leaves me 3 mana plus 3 creatures. I can March for 3. I still don't love that, so I'm probably going to play Wood Shaper. And then hold up Might of the Masses. Let's see, if I attack with this, they double block. That's 5. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and attack with Rosemane. If they block with 2 creatures, I Might of the Masses. So let's go and play this first. No reason to play that first. Let's just go ahead and jam with Centaur. Keeping the damage while we can. I'm fine getting rid of this Might of the Masses if it means killing both their creatures. Sure, their Undergrowth creatures will be better, but they haven't played that many against us anyway. They just get a bunch of creatures back, then so what? I guess they could have Might of the Masses of their own. Alright. I should have played Sumala first. It gives an extra +1 with this. I don't think they're going to have anything for 1 black or 1 green. In fact, I don't think there are... No, they could have the +1/+1 in Death Touch. Ooh, Necrotic Wound. That's going to give -1. Ooh, they got me. They got me real good. I still trade for Fine Broker. This gets exiled. That doesn't matter too much. Yeah, that was a good move from them. I don't mind that they lost their Necrotic Wound. Wood Shaper coming up. Sure, we'll Dev Champion solid. At the very least, if nothing else, I can cast both of these next turn. Field Shade can pretty freely attack here. I'll take my beat by Dre. Yep, gonna get some pumps in. Alright, so they want the rest of their mana here. At least a 4-drop. Yep, they've got the Fine Broker combo. Not too worried about that. My creatures do outpace them in the late game. Alright, we can go Centaur into Conclave Guildmage. Gain back some extra life. Yeah, 3-drop, 2-drop. Yeah, see, still haven't drawn the 6th land for Camaraderie. Yeah, I'll play Peacemaker before a Dev Champion. Friend's a little bit better of a block against them, which I don't care too much about, since I'm probably not blocking. But if they want to use removal at this point in the game to kill a 3/3, then I'd rather them do that than Led Dev Champion. If this game goes completely south and I get to put Led Dev Champion, at the least this can just create a chump blocker each turn. That can get up to a 5/5. I could put 2 creatures in front, but my creatures are pretty important now for basically all 3 of these spells. If they find, are they gonna Fine Broker back a Rezone Lurcher? That seems really bad. They wouldn't have any creatures in their graveyard. I assume they play something else. Pitiless Gorgon. Alright. Don't have the Boros Guildgate. Still do not have the, whatchamacallit? 8 mana. I have 4. Yeah, I can cast Flight of Equinox, which blocks this. I don't think I can go with Dev into Flight. I'm 1 away from that. So I could go with Dev. Nah, let's just play Flight of Equinox. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm fine with the swing back here. Alright, so they have 2 unknowns plus 1 of these boys in hand. Yep. Alright, I could block here. I can get this up to a 6/7. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I don't think they would have very much. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and try and blow my integrity instead of trying to wait on a Boros Guildgate. They could also just go like pump, pump, pump. 2 pumps. 3 pumps? Oh wow, they're just going straight up. Oh, am I? No, 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 no. There we go. I thought I might have been auto-yielded. They can't even Pax Favor here. Necrotic Wound would help us trade. Wow, they just used their whole turn and got blown up by 1 mana. Also, I'm just in a command position now, even without all these. Oh, nice. Alright, we're going to go on the offensive now. Boom. Yeah, I mean, if attacking for 4 in the air is the offensive, then that's what we're doing. Still don't have the 6th land. I want to do this once before the game is over, this into this. But we're going to be patient. Probably going to March of the Multitudes on end step here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Make 4 1/1s, and then if I draw a land, the game is just super over. I don't care about this. Curious what else they play here, though. Maybe Fine Broker into Veiled Shade again or something. Oh, another Pitiless Gorgon. Okay. Necrolisk. What does this do again? Sack another creature, put a 1/1 counter on it, gains menace. Only as a sorcery. Oh, it puts a counter on it. I thought that only got +1/+1 until end of turn. It's a little bit better. Still not frightened by any of this. Alright, March time. This doesn't even look that good. 2, 3, 4. Done. Give me that camaraderie. Give me that untapped basic land. I feel it. The forest. Nice deck. No! I'm gonna give him the thanks. Or the thquonks. With the smiley. Okay, well, we marched for nothing. We just get to attack with flyers here. Crow Harpooner, I'm not even going to play in case they play a flyer. I get to just take it out. We can go jam. Could attack with... No, they have the Death Toucher. This can't really attack either. What if I attack with everything? They block 3, 2, 2. And then they take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Nah, not on that plan yet. I'll just pump out a 1-1 with my Ladev champion. Then the only card that really gets us here... I guess they could have Find Finality. That's not even that amazing. It would be pretty good, but I would still have my 4/5 flyer. It wasn't a forest, by the way. Come on, just one time. Ooh, Swarm Guild Mage. That first ability could kill us out of nowhere, but I think we've got enough tokens that we're not worried about that. Come on! Hit it! Hut! Draw. Ah! Give me the 6th land! Why do you hate me? Okay, we're just gonna jam with the flyers again. Boom, boom. They do not want to find broker back anything they have in their hand. They could go for like this Necroless combo. Sack 1, get it back. Sack 1, get it back. Do I want to prey upon something? Not really. I could prey upon this. That's probably worth it. Yeah, let's do that. You punch you. And we'll just pass after that. The Menace could actually be pretty scary here. It's not like I'm at infinite life. They're going to die to these before I get to do this, aren't they? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No Find Finality? 1 green? What is this? What are you casting? Affectionate Indrik! Well, that's going to kill... Ladev Champion, I assume? Unless they have a pump. I don't think they're going to target Flight. Yeah, Ladev Champion is down. That's fine. Still doesn't block these flyers and still doesn't stop me from drawing a million cards. Yeah! Alright, we're getting in there. Not doing any math. Boom, 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 boom. Draw this many cards. Give me 6 cards and 6... They're taking 7. They can block 1, 2, 3. Oh, they're so dead. Wait for the chat bubble to come up. Or wait for the pause for reflection. There's the chat bubble. I hate leagues. Oh, wow, 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 wow. Oh my god, are they gonna pause? They're gonna pause for... They got me! Oh my god. Oh, we got fogged. They're still super dead, though. Ugh. I gotta discard a bunch of cards here. How do they... There's no way they come... Like, we just have so much gas. Alright, let's discard a bunch of cards. How long were they sitting on that fog? Get out of here. Righteous Blow seems bad. Alright. I mean, now it's just pick your poison. Unless they literally drew another fog, they're just dead again. Oh, unless they can kill us somehow. That would be pretty insane. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't see how they can possibly kill us from 27, but worse things have happened. Wow, really? Attack with everything? Or attack with these? And then what do you have? Okay. What did they get back? I assume they're going to play it. Oh, Swarm Guild Mage. Okay, so their last card is... No, they could have another fog. They have 4 blockers. Block 1, 2, 3, 4. Take 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're just dead on board, so I don't have to do any tricks, and if they have another fog off the top, I get to play like Knight of Autumn, gain some life. Oh my god, if they kill us. No fog. Yeah, they block here, 2 and a 1. They take 5 in the air. And then, oh, did I miscount? Oh, it doesn't matter because Bounty of Might. Alright, well, we'll just Bounty Might. Save that, and then pump Healer's Hawk. No, I guess I should pump 2 things just in case they actually have a whatchamacallit. Yeah, we want the Guild Mage gone. Alright, I'm gonna wait for the second chat bubble. Wait for the chat bubble to come up. Byron R sent you a message. There it is. Did we show that to him in the other game? Well, you saved the fog for a pretty good card. Nice. Okay. Oh man, we lost to Boros. Oh well, that was sick. Our deck was insane. I don't think if you draft Selesnya that you should anticipate having such a good deck just because we had like 4 on-color rares or some nonsense like that. But we got the camaraderie win, and then we got fogged. It's pretty insane. But what do we draw? Like 11 cards, so who cares? Yeah, but we lost the Boros, so showing you again another format, just like M19 and Ixalan, where red-white is super strong. But unlike M19, there are at least tools to deal with it. That was our downfall, though. We didn't have strong removal spells. Maybe a Luminous Bonds or 2 would have done the trick, and we just have to accept our loss to the aggro deck. But I don't see how too many late-game decks were going to beat us with our card quality. Well, you saw it here. You're never going to see a Selesnya deck like that again, so I'm super happy with it. I will accept my loss to aggro, and I hope you enjoyed the matches. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We will have a ton more Guilds of Ravnica content drafts coming up. So, as always, thanks for watching. My name's Timothy here with Mana Rocks. See you next time.